We are here at Legia Warsaw Stadium at Łazienkowska for the first Modicom Legia eSports Cup, where 10 top-tier teams will be playing football, but not on this field. There's a virtual one in FIFA 17, where players will be playing for the eSports title. Welcome everyone to the Modicom Legia eSports Cup. It's the historic first Modicom Cup, but also the first invitational in the FIFA eSports scene, which have not been seen before. In 2016, we had a really aggressive expansion when it comes to the professional teams signing players, so now we can organize this tournament with 10 different professional teams. We have a €3,500 prize pool, which are, of course, not possible to organize without the sponsors. So thanks to Modicom, to Hilton Doubletree, ESL, eSport Universal, Fortuna, Gram.pl, Qwatti, Xiaomi and Noble Chess. So let's give a big round of applause to our players. Here are 10 players from 10 different teams. And we'll make a short introduction of those guys. From Legia Warsaw, we have Michał Srokosz, Sporting, Francisco Cruz, Schalke 04, Tim Schwartman, Manchester City, Kieran Brown, Valencia, David Soriano Perujo, Paris Saint-Germain, August Rosenmeier, Ajax Amsterdam, Cohen Weiland, VfL Wolfsburg, Benedikt Salzer, AS Monaco, Nathan Naegom, West Ham United, Sean Allen. Everything here will be cast by two veterans in this scene, and the first match will be between Legia and Sporting. So, guys, Jarek and Chris, please take it away.
Thank you very much, Lofar. I am Chris Trout, joined here by the wonderful
Jarek Radio. Thank you, Chris.
So we're here for the Modicom Legia eSports Cup 2016. We've got a great event going over the weekend for you with these 10 incredible players in the FIFA scene for FIFA 17. Now, our first matchup is going to be an amazing game between a local hero and a Portuguese phenom. But let's talk about the format of the competition, how this is all going to break down. So take it away.
Yes, so we've got group stage we're consisting of 10 players. All of them play against each other in a round-robin system. And today only 6 players can be promoted to the quarterfinals that will be played tomorrow. So now we see the group stage, all the teams represented by professional football players. And I'm hyped. I'm really looking forward to it, to see the best games of FIFA here at Legia Warsaw Stadium.
We also need to point out how vital it is to finish in the top 2. Obviously, those top 2 players will go straight through to the semi-final, so every game counts at this stage of the event. So you want to make sure you're coming out with wins, getting as many points on the board as you possibly can. Every minute of FIFA counts in this best-of-1 format so far in the group stage, and everyone plays everyone. So no one will be left out. There will be no kind of regrets about, oh, what if I played that player or played that player. Everyone is playing everyone, so it can go all the way down to the wire to finish into that top 6 position. Now, our first game is going to be Legia Warsaw versus Sporting Club de Portugal. Obviously, Schrocker representing Legia Warsaw, and we've got Francisco Cruz representing Sporting. Now, you know a lot about these guys, being a former professional yourself. Tell me a little bit about them.
Of course, Legia Warsaw represented by Sroka. It was a mystery who will represent Legia. Now we know the current Polish FIFA champion and probably one of the best guys in Poland to represent our team. And Kinzas is also well known for Poland because a few years ago he won the Polish qualifier of FIFA Interactive World Cup. Then he went to Los Angeles to the grand final, and then he became the youngest FIFA World Champion. So I'm looking forward for this game. I'm sure that we will see a big skill, lots of tricks, and maybe a play of chess in FIFA. I mean, strategy is also very important. According to bookies, because you could play on these matches, Kinzas is one of the favorites, and odds for Sroka are not so good, 12-1. So probably Kinzas will be the favorite. But we will see.
There's quite a bit of pressure on him this weekend. Obviously, it's his first outing representing Legia Warsaw, so a lot of pride at stake for him here, representing his Polish team.
I mean, it's his first, basically, international tournament. Once he did participate in Katowice, but it wasn't as big as it is here. Here you've got like the best teams in football known in Europe coming here to Warsaw to represent them. You need to play really well. You need to keep calm the emotions and show big skill. Also, the factor that the FIFA 17 has been released not so long time ago, they didn't have time to practice so much.
Yeah, so it only came out in September, so people still kind of getting to grips with what's going on. I think only a few weeks ago we had a major patch that changed the kind of the way the game plays and the dynamics of the game and how you want to approach it. So there's still a lot of things to work out. Even some of the pros here this weekend have been commentating about how they are approaching the game every week. It seems like they're changing their strategies. They're still putting new players in, the players that they're so used to, the fundamental ones like Ruud Gullit, who's obviously one of the most staple players that everyone kind of brought into their team during FIFA 16, is not so much favoured this year. A couple people drafting him in, but some people saying, yeah, he doesn't quite play exactly the same as I'm used to seeing. So we're seeing lots of variation in terms of teams so far. And you will see a lot of variation going down through the early stages of the FIFA. It's not until you reach towards the end that people kind of figure out what works for them and what kind of players are the optimal ones to bring in the teams. But you're a former professional. Have you got anything to kind of say about these players and what kind of players that people might prefer to use over others?
I mean, of course, we are playing in FIFA Ultimate Team, so the cards, the strategy is really important, but in the end, the skill only matters. I mean, Kinzas has a lot more experience in this field because also he was the youngest champion of Portugal when he was 11. So come on, I mean, he's playing FIFA for so many years, and since the very beginning he was really good. So he may be a really favorite of this match, of this tournament. Sroka, maybe he lacks some experience, but his skill is very good. And I asked him what is his form for today. He says he's okay. I mean, he didn't practice so much as he wanted to, but he knows that he's an underdog, and the other needs to worry about him.
Well, that can play to your strengths really, really well as well, because not having so much pressure on your shoulders, it kind of relieves it. You don't expect to do it as well, so you can just kind of come into this, have some fun and enjoy yourself. You don't have to think too much about, oh, it's terrible if it goes wrong. If you've got all the pressure on you, like we saw multiple champions last year who had so much pressure on themselves, and there were moments where they started to crumble because everyone expects them to win. So coming into this, not having that kind of pressure, it opens you up to try new things, not to be afraid to try and change up the tactics or do something, you know, a bit more left field, because in that position, if it doesn't work out well, no one really expected you to do well, so who cares if it doesn't work out for you? Whereas that person who's expected to do well, there's more pressure for them to succeed, so they're going to be a little bit more reluctant to actually try those kind of new tactics and taking gambles on situations.
Yeah, of course. I mean, also, it's a marvelous thing that they play in a group stage where all the players will have a chance to challenge the other guys. So we play in the round robin. So they cannot say, oh, the bracket was bad for me. I mean, they will play 9 matches and they can show their skill. Even if the first game won't be so good, then he can play the second one, the third one, and in the end, he needs to show the skill. For Sroka, coming back to our local player, the only thing that may be dangerous for him, the pressure, because he's playing on our home ground, Legia Warsaw Stadium. That recently, like a few days ago, we witnessed the great game against Real Madrid, and now he needs to show the big skill against Kinzas. And actually, this is also another thing that may be dangerous for him, because Kinzas is the favorite. Maybe if he played some other guys that are not so experienced in FIFA, it would be easier. But he said that, okay, I don't care who I'm playing against. Kinzas is first, so I will win against him. That are his words. So hopefully, for me, hopefully for the local fans, that will be the situation.
There's a lot of competition in this tournament this weekend. Some incredible names in the list of 10 players here this weekend. The likes of Aga Rosemeyer's in there. We've got Sean Allen, who's representing West Ham this weekend. Who's your favourite to pick the competition? We know the bookies, which was, I believe, was Aga Rosemeyer to take the whole thing.
Yes, that's right. However, I was talking to other guys like Cohen Wayland from Ajax Amsterdam. I mean, he says, yeah, I can do well as well. Also, Kez, I talked to him that this is his first international tournament, but he will fight for the win as well. Agi said that the other plays than first, it will be his disaster. So he's aiming for the first win, for the first position, and that's his target. I mean, the other guys were maybe more like diplomatic. Yeah, but I think that everybody wants to get promoted to the second day, to the playoffs, and that will be their aim for today. From my side, apart of Sroka, of course, I think that Salzor, the German, can do well, because always during the FIFA history, Germans were really good. Also in the past, I remember.
They've got ice in their veins.
Yeah, I mean, there was some period in the FIFA history that there were like two brothers playing, two twins, and they were going each year to the biggest World Cyber Games tournament, and each gold medal was theirs, either for 1-on-1 or 2-on-2. So that was great time for Germans. But when I'm looking to different countries, I mean Spain as well. I mean the FIFA scene in the world has got great players. France, Spain. I mean England. You can say something about English players. Lots of them played really well, and I'm expecting a very good tournament.
I'm expecting a good tournament too. It's going to be exciting to see all these representatives of their respective clubs come together and face off at this competition. Obviously, we've got to thank Legia Warsaw for helping put this all together. Massive thank you to their beautiful stadium in the background, as you can see here in Poland, Warsaw. So going into FIFA 17, it's been out for a few months. Obviously, we both played it a little bit. What are your thoughts on it? I mean, how do you think this tournament's going to fare out for the players? Are there any players who you think this game benefits more than other ones? I think in some of the most previous iterations of FIFA where, for example, FIFA 16, it was very attacking orientated. It was about who can really utilize their attack to the best. You score lots of goals, you tend to win the games. Whereas this FIFA, it seems to award good defensive structure and play. Any thoughts on that?
I mean, I've been playing FIFA for 20 years already. I'm so old.
I'm 25, so that's a long time.
Yeah, I'm quite older than you, but I saw how the FIFA was developing itself, changing. I mean, also we need to remember, like, okay, at home when you play in front of your own, like PC or console, your favorite chair with coffee or tea and your TV screen, it's a totally different thing than when you go to the tournament, LAN. Like here, we've got a great stadium, and you need to compete. Come on, there's lots of people supporting other guys than you, for example. Like here, Kinzas is not the favorite of the fans. Like we've got the journalists from Poland that are surely supporting our local team, our local player, and that it's totally different than playing online. Like Kinzas has experience, Sroka maybe not, but in the end, you need to win many matches, and the experience on LAN can be the biggest factor that allows them to win the first prize of our Legia eSports Cup. However, coming back to FIFA, I think that this FIFA is aiming more on like passing. I like passing in this game. It's totally different. So we can go back to our virtual stadium where Kinzas, representing Sporting Clube de Portugal, plays against Legia Warsaw with Michał Srokosz.
So Francisco not actually making any changes off the start, which is very unusual for most competitive FIFA games. Usually there's a start, pause right from the offset, and most players tend to change up their teams to make sure they can get it to the way they want. But we're seeing that, I believe it was Sroka's gone with a major Real Madrid Man United hybrid squad, which is quite inventional. Ibrahimovic up top, not exactly the most traditional striker that I see in most competitive teams, but new game, new strategies can come out.
With it being his
I
first
see that in the very beginning, Kinzas will gonna play with the possession. He doesn't want to lose the ball, and maybe his first action will bring him a good attempt on the goal. And we will see. As you mentioned, they didn't do the chemistry trick. I think that most of the players do that to increase the chemistry using his favorite players.
Good forward play from them.
Here, like we saw Bale. I think that Bale for Kinzas can make a big difference. And now we will see some changes. Actually, Sroka is doing some changes, but Ibrahimovic, Ronaldo, Pogba, yes, that's a good team, all well known for us.
So he was originally with the 4-2-3-1. He's actually switched to a 4-3-1-2, and he's playing in-form Walcott behind Ibrahimovic up front. And that is definitely going to be good. I imagine he's going to have Ibrahimovic hold up the play as much as he possibly can, and use the pace of Walcott to burst through on to that defence as he finally gets a touch on the ball, and he plays it out to just make those changes come into effect.
On the paper, squad of Sroka looks better. Maybe for sure here it's more expensive. However, we know that in FIFA, not only the players play, the skill is the most important factor. And I think that I mentioned earlier in the beginning they want not to lose the first game, so they will play like more strategic game, slow, with slow pace, using the possession, and we may see just 1 or 2 goals in this match for the opening game of this tournament.
A little bit of a sloppy start there. Actually, a friend request coming in for Sroka. He's made it. Francisco Cruz wants to be his friend. It's a great start to his tournament.
I mean, for sure, Sroka needs to focus. It's his first such big tournament, such important for him, and it may be problematic, as I mentioned earlier. However, now situation for Kinzas.
Here he comes into the box. Here goes Pogba, gets a shot off. It is saved expertly, and that's going to trickle off to the side. And Sroka does pick up the loose ends, and he looks to capitalise on this one. Here comes Ibrahimovic on the wing, and it is taken away by Cruz.
That was a good attempt, and maybe that's the signal that now we're gonna play faster, and Kinzas will try to do another action, another situation that enables him to score, and we will see again possession is on his side. And for now, the local player Sroka has some problems even to retrieve the ball.
Both players not really making the best use of their possession here, but here comes Kyle Walker bursting up the wing, as he's done so much this season for Tottenham. Plays it inside to Gareth Bale, who tries to find Martial in the box. It falls to Griezmann. Griezmann goes down, but Sroka is going to pick it up, and he's going to start to move out, and a pause comes in. 20 minutes gone, and looks like we are going to have a brief pause, as maybe some composure. I think there might even be a few things going on as far as notifications go on the Xbox to stop distracting them at this point in time.
For 1 second I was afraid of penalty, because you know in FIFA there can be a penalty from nothing, and that would be a disaster for Sroka. However, 20 minutes on our virtual clock just passed, and we have seen some good actions from Kinzas. So that's a good signal for the future.
He's definitely put some good pressure on. Obviously, it is Sroka switching from that wide 4-2-3-1 to the 4-3-1-2, so he's playing a bit more central, and so far the change has not particularly panned out how he would want to, very much on the back foot. Let's see if Francisco Cruz can capitalise it as some quick passes come in. Griezmann gets it, finds Bale behind the defence. It falls to Griezmann again. He slots it home, bottom left-hand corner, and takes a 1-0 lead.
Nice, that was really nice play. You could see that this ball was transferring between players like in an autostrade, like motorway. There was nothing that Sroka could do, and I think that now he needs to focus even more and to change something in the midfield, because he doesn't have any blocking in the midfield, and he needs to change something, maybe change the tactics again, because if he allows Kinzas to just go through his midfield, it will be a disaster in the end of the game.
Yeah, but he doesn't have the most defensive orientated midfields from what I remember seeing from that team. He does have Ronaldo on the attack now, who comes back inside. It finds Ibrahimovic, goes for the fake shot, but Cruz not falling for that one, and he looks to capitalise on this counter-attacking situation. Griezmann waiting for the perfect run. Nothing's going to come on, so he's just going to lay it off to his teammate. It's Matuidi, who's holding the rock in the middle of the park, and he switches the play over as Cruz starts to neutralise this situation.
But for sure the game will get faster now. We saw the first action for Sroka. He probably woke up, he understood that, hey, I need to start to play this game, and he could actually make a fast equalizer, but maybe the decision was wrong. Maybe he should either attempt to score or pass the ball once again, but Ibra tried fake shot and he lost the ball, and Kinzas will respect the ball again. Now he knows that basically Sroka needs to attack, he needs to retrieve the ball and try to find an equalizer. And in the first game, the goals don't matter. I think the 3 points will be the most important for both players. However, in the end of the tournament, there is a special prize for the top scorer. So we need to remind that our viewers that in the end, the goals also count. Now, chance for Sroka, but it was unlucky.
Sroka picking up the loose ends there, and he's looking to kind of push back Cruz if he can. Find his way in. A pass not going to be made much use of, and it is intercepted, but again he wins the ball back. Not too much damage done there as he looks to push forward, and here comes the ball over the top. It's not going to fall. Hugo Lloris just telling his teammates to calm it down. Let's slow the pace down. 1-0 is all we really realistically need to win this and get the 3 points at this early stage of the competition. It will be a major, major boost in confidence for Francisco. Not the best of starts for Sroka if it does go down that way.
But I see that Sroka is playing a little bit with more pressure. He had another situation, and maybe that will be a signal that he will attack. But now again, Kinzas next to the box, but he tried another low pass and lose it. And now Ibrahimovic for Sroka. Maybe there will be a good through ball to Walcott. Walcott now, Ronaldo, Cristiano, do something. Come on, Cristiano, for the Polish fans. Yeah, in the end it didn't work. Like during the game against Legia Warsaw a few days ago.
Marshall playing on this left-hand side. Not someone who I expected to be a first-choice player for a competitive team, but he's certainly doing a good job up on that left-hand side of the pitch. Again, Francisco happy with the way his team's set, and he's actually going to pick up a loose ball here. Griezmann looking to rock down the right-hand side of the pitch, but he's actually going to opt to go backwards. He's not afraid to, you know, go play backwards, which is something that is a very good skill to have. Lots of discipline to not get too eager and push forward and lose the ball and have someone counter-attack. We know how effective counter-attacking can be on this new FIFA. We want to see people have a little bit more discipline, make sure their team's set up and ready for the worst case scenario, and that's exactly what I'm seeing from Francisco, and I'm a big fan of it.
And now chance for Sroka, but the pass wasn't good enough. Maybe again Ibrahimovic to Ronaldo, Cristiano going back to... Oh my God, it doesn't. He needs to change something in his play, because Kinzas will feel more and more comfortable. And you could see, I mean, normally players would attack in the situation, but he was smart. He said, "Okay, I have just two lads next to me, so I will pass the ball back to the defense, and we try again with the possession." Sroka, his time gets lower and lower, and he will have to play more aggressively, more pressure, and hopefully for Polish fans he will score at least the equalizer, because I hope that comeback is real. As in different games here also, FIFA is a magic game that everything can happen. And so many comebacks, like 4 or 5 goals, it can happen.
I'd like to see him pack out the midfield a bit more, maybe play with a little bit more width, because Sroka playing that 4-3-1-2, it means that most of his play has to be quite central. He's not really got the width to work with, especially if you're playing Ibrahimovic as one of the 2 strikers up there. He's not really going to do much for you on that on that wing. And Francisco does have Kante, Matuidi and Pogba sitting in the middle, so that's going to be a tough midfield to kind of get through and play the ball around, because they are absolutely electric in the midfield, and you're going to have to do something very incredible to get past those. So I'd love to see him maybe play with a bit more width, possibly look at maybe a 4-5-1, see if he can pack out the midfield and get himself some momentum going for himself, and give him some options and quickly be able to switch the play, because right now he looks a bit lost out there.
Yes, I mean, even with this tactics, he could use some wings, maybe some good cross, and he's trying to go through the mid of the pitch. But now let's see, what is he going to do? Walcott, that was a close one, but the shot was blocked. But it was good chance again. I mean, he has got 30 minutes still on our virtual clock to close this gap, to score an equalizer, and maybe later the winning goal. I mean, if he scores the first one, maybe he will feel more comfortable, and then another quick action. But now we've got a free kick.
Yeah, Francisco definitely respecting the attacking threat of Sroka. Here comes the free kick from Francisco. He's got 3 men behind the ball. Is he going to go straight for it or dummy? Dummies once, dummies twice. Gareth Bale on the free kick, lays it off to Paul Pogba, who winds it up, smashes it into the top left-hand corner of the goal and throws a dab in there just to add insult to the injury. 2-0 lead for Francisco, and it looks like he's taken away the 3 points in his first game.
That was a great way to play this free kick, like 2 dummies, then a short pass to Pogba and a great screamer to the goal. And 2-0, and that gives Kinzas more calm down. And I think that for Sroka it's going to be really hard to do something to gain any points in this match, but he needs to try. I mean, FIFA, you played 90 minutes, and maybe now Ibrahimovic, what is he going to do?
Just doesn't look like he's out to the races today, losing the ball so easily. He's not going to be particularly happy with that. Might be time to rethink the strategy as far as Ibrahimovic goes, because he's not really doing the job for him up front today. Let's see how Francisco goes with his attack again. Plays it down the wing. Griezmann looking to get the overlap, cuts back inside,
Nice
lovely, majestic feet there, plays it to Marshall, who's trying to find another one inside, but it's stopped by Srocco.
Yes, one trick allowed him to gain some space, and he could score the third one. That would basically mean GG. But for now, Srocco can still go back with this game, but he needs to change something, either tactics or just go pure aggression, full attack maybe. But he needs to do something, because for now, Kansas is reading him so easy, like an open book, like Harry Potter, basically. Marcelo Ronaldo now maybe go to Ronaldo, play the ball, do some tricks, do some magic, and cheer for your fans. I mean, he needs to do something, and I hope that after this bad start he will come back to this game. But as you mentioned, this tactics, or maybe Kansas is so good in the defense, like professor defense, that doesn't allow him anything to do on this pitch. And for now, look, I mean, he feels so comfortable that he uses more and more tricks. I mean, that shows that he knows that he will not lose this game. I mean, basically, when the players feel very comfortable, they have fun on the pitch, and that is what we see here. And even this yellow card won't change anything. And only 10 minutes remaining on the pitch.
10 minutes left in this first game between Srocco and Francisco. Srocco finally on the attack. Oh, and he gives away the ball again. Just can't find his way through this defence of Francisco. Has played very, very well in defence. Made the most of his opportunities up front. Srocco really just, he hasn't had too much going for himself. Again, losing the ball and being dispossessed, but manages to pick up the scrap ends. And again, Kante, the rock in midfield, sees that one out. And Srocco looking to try and capitalise again.
And now maybe something on the wing. Walker goes to Ibrahimovic, but again he was muscled out from the box. And again a quick counter attack from Kansas. Let's see Gareth Bale. What can he do? He will play calmly. The ball will go back to the defense, and now Kansas will just kill the time, because he knows that nothing cannot happen. And the first 3 points will go to Sporting Clube de Portugal.
Fantastic start for them at this event, and it's not over yet. Still looking to find a third goal if they possibly can. Obviously, they want all the goals they could possibly get. It could be the difference maker when it comes to the top 6 at the end of the day when we go into the bracket for tomorrow. Just making sure that no goals go against him as well. Looking to finally see if he can get a third one to capitalise what has been a great showing from him in this debut game for the event. Srocco trying to hold it out as much as he can. Even for him, not conceding a goal could be the difference at the end. And there you go, Francisco Cruz picking up 3 points to start off the tournament here this weekend.
Yes, from me, just GG! Good game, Francisco, and he's the first winner of our Legia eSports Cup tournament. I think that in a very few seconds we'll get the interview with the winner. What do you think about this game? Could Srocco do anything better, or it was just impossible because Kansas was just too good? The level maybe is too high for him.
I think he had opportunities. I don't think the strategy was particularly favourable comparing to what he came up with. He didn't really make any substitutions. He made one change to his overall plan at the start to go from that 4-2-3-1 wide to the 4-3-1-2, which made him play much more central, and he's already coming up against a formation that's fairly central in itself. It obviously gives you a little bit more width with those two with the left and right forward up front. He could have maybe utilised the width a little bit more, because his players did play, his centre-backs play quite central as well. Could have made something happen there. You've got Ibrahimovic as well, maybe swinging a cross or two, see if you can use that height advantage to potentially get you a goal, try something new.
Okay, that's... I agree, I fully agree with you. That was a good one, and now we can go to the interview. So, Lothar, it's for you.
Thank you, guys. Thank you, guys. And now I'm standing here with Francisco. GG, that was the first game of the entire tournament. I have some standard questions, of course. So how do you feel after the first game?
It's one of the most important games of the tournament. It's the first one because it gives you a lot of confidence if you win. And first of all, I was trying to not to lose because I didn't know my opponent very good. I didn't know what he could do. So I started the game a bit defensively, and at the end, the game was good for me because I scored more goals than him. So 3 points.
Yeah, of course. It has been seen in the game that you are very methodic in the gameplay. So not many flashy actions, but methodic, like advancing during the field, and that's very cool to see. Especially as you said, this is a field that you actually don't know the players well, right? But are there some players that you can prepare against and make specific strategies?
I'm used to do my own strategies, and I play every time with it. I don't change. I don't change it.
You just try to play your game.
Yeah, that's right. And I think the game is a bit different now. It gives you more chance to have possession. The FIFA 16 was not that. It was all about counter-attack and fast counter-attacks.
Do you prefer this style?
I don't know. They are different games. I have to adapt to each game. This year I play with possession. Maybe next year I will have to change. So this year I think it's better to play possession. That's why I use it.
It is very cool to see the evolution of the players with each year, right? Also, a question: you're the veteran of the scene. You're like known for so many years, but do you have still? Are you being nervous on stage? Do you still have that thing, or it's just normal for you?
I think for the best of the years, we are getting used to being on the stage, but it's always hard to play against with these people watching you. So it's always a bit nervous for me.
Yeah, okay. I mean, it's normal for every sport, right? And there's many thousand people watching you online as well. One thing that I wanted to ask, do you think the 1 month that you had with FIFA 17 is enough to play confidently?
No, but it's 1 month for every player, so we have to be used to that. For me, I think I need 2 or 3 months to be good at the game, to be at the very best level. But 1 month, it's still enough, I think.
Okay, there are 8 more matches in front of you today, so I hope you will advance from the first or second place, of course, but because then you go directly to the semi-finals. So thank you very much for the interview and good luck.
Sorry for my English.
You're doing great, man. Thank you, guys. Now we'll be going to a short break, I think. So let's go to the casters.
Like Francisco said, they had just 1 month for this tournament to practice the new game. I mean, they were playing the last FIFA, and for example, with Sroka, I can say that on FIFA 16 he was doing miracles with Cristiano Ronaldo. In this match, we didn't see anything, but we are going to another match in this tournament.